We are live in action with all my favorite peeps in the world tonight. I got Mark Hoverson, Brenda Gagne, Michelle, and Rhonda in the house. As you guys know, the email that all the people sent out to you kind of gave a little rundown, a little backstory of what's going on tonight, kind of show you one of the vehicles that we use in our business to kind of get ourselves to the next level. And really the vehicle that changed my life. I'm not sure how much it changed Brenda's and Michelle's, but I know that's a huge part of it. And then also with Rhonda, I know that she's coming in and she's tearing it up already. Now, Hoverson is the co-owner of the company we're going to be talking about tonight, so I'm excited to have him on. Getting him on one of these things is a little bit wild. I think this might be one of the first times that you've been on a Google Hangout, right, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, this is such advanced stuff. I don't know how to make my name all fancy like news anchors do.
That's right, Mark. You don't have a name.
That's awesome.
You know what? I think that I think this is like my own personality though, because even at events, I never like to wear a name tag. You know what I mean?
The man with no name.
I see you working. I see you working.
Vince, okay, let's get serious though. Did you get a haircut? Because you look really clean.
Serious. That's what friends are.
That's what I said. I go, wow, you shaved and took a
I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's all good. Oh my Lord. All right, so people didn't know they were going to be in here.
Let me tell you this before. Are we live? And are there?
Yes.
We are rolling right now.
Because when Vince was in Phoenix a couple weeks ago, wherever we went, I'm not making this up. We go to a cool restaurant, the waitress loves him. He's not even inciting flirting with her. She's just flirting with him hardcore. So that was one experience. Then we go to the next place, and it's the same damn thing. These chicks are just flirting with him, flirting with him. And I came back, I said to Shani, I said, I think it's his Elvis-like looks or something, because these women cannot get enough of this guy.
You're killing me, dude.
It's the sidelines.
I know we're all here in business. So.
As people can see, we basically make all this money and jack around at the same time, which is the most fun part about it.
That's fun about Hangouts. You just hang out. People love the transparency and the coolness of it, and us interacting and get to see we're real people.
Exactly. Mark, you said it when we were in Arizona.
The person next to me.
What did you say? Are you poking him? Mark was saying in Arizona when we all get back together, it's like going back to high school because we're just having so much freaking fun.
Remember that show, Celebrity Squares?
Yeah.
Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood Squares.
This is like internet squares.
Yeah.
Tiny internet squares.
Teaching you how to make money.
All right, let's get serious with these people. Right. This is probably a good little intervene so people got on here. So, all right, what we're going to do is, I'm sure, so go ahead and, everybody's already putting down where they're from, why they're here, and all that good stuff. That's awesome. What we're going to do is kind of give you a little insight into where we started a little bit. We're all going to give our little 30 to 60 second, which is almost impossible, story of where we started and where we are today. And then we'll get into this vehicle that we're going to be talking about, which is literally the reason that it's changed my life. And like I said, we'll find out how much it really made an impact on their life as well. So why don't you real quick, and then we'll have Hoverson kind of pop in here in a little bit because he basically co-owns the company now, and so he already understands what it's all about. And so why don't you start, Michelle, real quick and kind of give a little, 90-second what happened when you started GRN and kind of where you use this vehicle and where you are today with it and all that good stuff.
Well, I think my story might be different than almost everybody's on here, so which is really cool. I would say GRN was probably my first place I actually started. What about almost 3 years, right, Mark? I believe so. It's almost about 3 years. I started in, like network marketing, I guess, when I first discovered the industry. And, I thought to myself, wow, I'm going to be able to stay at home and, replace my income as a therapist for children with autism. And, I wanted to be home with my kids. I felt guilty about going back to work when I always was a stay-at-home mom. And I had this tremendous amount of guilt for that. And that's why I, decided there had to be a better way. And I did the network marketing things. And, I worked my tail off. And after about a month, and I realized my check was only $1,000, I was like, man, all that work for just $1,000. And I'd actually made a really good connection with my upline at the time there. A lot of you guys might know is Eric Wilkes. And about 4 months, 5 months later, after, you know, being in the network marketing arena and, you know, just getting to the point where it was like, you know, there's got to be a better way to build this. And I remember sensing something from Eric, and Eric telling me, well, I'm really good friends with Mark Hoverson, and he's got this company called Global Resorts. And I was like, all right, done. I don't care what it is. Just tell me where I need to sign up.
That's exactly
I'm going wherever you go. It was just, you know, it was the fact that I was tied to somebody who was helping me at that time. And then he told me the price tag. And at that time, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to get married. That's costing me out of our own pocket $25,000, $30,000. I've got to go on this honeymoon. How am I going to convince my husband, because I'm not having success in the industry as it is, and there's no way I'm going to be able to convince him that I can buy into this program. And went on our honeymoon, and I was thinking, you know, I'll just borrow the money from my mother. And I did. I got her credit card, but a little thing happened while we were on our honeymoon. A hurricane hit, and we were stranded down there, so I had to use some of that money to get us out of there. Because we really didn't have any, you know, money after all that. You know, it was paycheck to paycheck, and literally just borrowed it from my mother, didn't tell him about it, and I mean, that was my motivation to make some sales really quickly. And I did. I think my first week or even my second week, I made a couple of sales immediately and just covered the price of that, and I was clear, basically clear, and knew that I could at least go to my husband and say, wow, look at this check I got. You know, I just sold this, you know, membership, but I didn't tell him yet. He thought we were in profit. I didn't tell him I still had to pay my mom back. And, you know, at that time, I mean, he was the non-supportive spouse, but, you know, just, you know, the relationships that I have with you, you know, you guys, especially when I first started out, it was, I know Brenda was there and Mark was there, and just the relationships I had with you guys and just the community and being able to build this business, I mean, changed my life. You know, I think I was up on stage speaking at No Excuses about 6 months after being in Global Resorts. And, you know, I owe a lot of that obviously to Mark, this company, you know, giving me that kind of exposure and giving people a way to make some serious commissions in a very short amount of time, which established me as a leader within the industry because I was giving people solutions to those small checks at the time. Why is Mark laughing?
You were so new at that. I remember that first No Excuses because I was talking to Ray and Fernie, and I said, you know, maybe it's best if you guys interview her up there so she can't just stand up there and screw up so bad. So like, trying to create this really safe environment for you to get on stage. You've come a long way, my dear.
Oh, that's so mean. I'm telling you, Mark, you guys have it easy. Mark was so hard on me.
Vince is getting some of my wrath now.
I love it, though. I love it, honestly. I am always, anytime I need a butt whooping, let me put it nicely, I call Mark.
Butt whooping.
I almost said the other day, I realized we're on television. Yeah. But no, I mean, GRN, you know, it's always going to be within our business portfolio. Sure, we have other things that we work, you know, but that's normal. I mean, as you grow as an entrepreneur, you become more capable of promoting other things that don't overwhelm you, that don't, you know, take up too much of your time, to where you can manage them evenly and you can get massive results. But, you know, I love it. I love the leadership. I love the community here. And, you know, the program just makes, you know, so much sense and gives people the flexibility to, you know, make a lot of money in a short amount of time. And I won't even go into the travel part of it. I'll let you guys do that.
Awesome. So so Brenda, real quick, what happened when you got into GRN?
He said real quick.
He said real quick because Michelle went way over 90 seconds there.
Oh, I did? That's unusual for me. I'm usually quick.
I'm not.
True.
I usually go for 10 years, so it's all good. Go ahead, Brenda.
Sure. Well, I got started right around the time Michelle did. I'm not sure if it was me or her that came in first, but I was definitely around the same time. And I came in, Michelle, for almost the exact same reason. I didn't know what GRN was. I didn't really care at that point. I just knew that, you know, my Adam Holland was the guy that was training me, and he knew what he was doing, and Mark knew what he was doing, and I knew I was missing something, and I knew that they were having the results that I was wanting, and if that's what I needed to do to join GRN, then that's what I was going to do. And I made that decision a few months before I was actually able to actually do it. I had wanted to, but it was two things. It was the money for one, because I didn't actually have it, which is, you know, everybody has that story. But the second thing was I had a lot of self-doubt because I wasn't making it at all in like a low-ticket MLM. So how in the world would I be able to do it in something that was like 4 times the cost of what I was trying to do? And so I really kind of, that held me back for a little while until finally things just came together. You know, I finally got some money, and there was a little contest going on, and I'm like, okay. You know, and Adam even pushed me a little bit. He's like, you got to do this. And I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I got into GRN. And I remember I thought I was getting a vacation. Like, I didn't really even know what it was. I thought I was going to, like, go off on a vacation, and that's what this was about. I only knew it was about travel. So I was a little disappointed that I wasn't going anywhere, truthfully, because I was like, yeah, I want to go somewhere.
People like you, I didn't even know they existed. I don't know what I bought. I just bought it. What is it?
Right, but I will tell you, I mean, I had a very similar story. My first 2 weeks, I brought in 3 people, which truthfully just opened my eyes that, oh my gosh, this is possible. I wasn't even doing that on a low-ticket $300 deal. How did I just do that? You know, but it was because there was things that I learned, you know, leveraging the things that you guys knew that you taught me to do. I just did it. And so once I realized, you know, what we have in our community, that was the biggest thing to me. But truthfully, I got inside that back office of the travel side when I finally realized what this was. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I was thrilled. I was like, I have access to this now the rest of my life. And for me, living here in Florida, there's so many things that are just within driving distance and cruises and stuff that we've been able to take part of, which is just amazing. So it's kind of like that was this extra bonus on top of all the knowledge and the community that I got to be around.
Yeah, we had a guy once, Brenda, who he had made 6 platinum sales, and he called me and he's like, hey, is this travel membership real? Because I've been hearing from the people that it is. He thought, he literally was such a scam artist. He joined only to make money, and then he started making money, and then people were having your experience, Brenda, where they're like, this is really great. And then he was like, is this real? I'm like, oh, these people and stuff right now.
And Brenda made a platinum sale yesterday, so congratulations, Brenda. Whoop.
Yeah, Brenda.
And Michelle, didn't you got like 3 platinum sales last month, didn't you? Something like that.
I don't remember. I think so.
It's just an extra. It's a lowly extra 10 grand. I mean,
yeah, no big deal, right? It's 10
yeah,
grand.
you know. I know there were some sales in there.
Well, that could come fast. I mean, I just had today. Matt Heltzel, he works my leads, and we had a new gentleman join.
Servirio, I think. I'm not looking at it, but it was a unique name.
Yeah, so I'm excited to meet him. I haven't met him yet, but that was super cool. So welcome if he's on.
Cool. Rhonda, let's bust you out. So Rhonda was a rock star and is a rock star in the industry already. She hooked up with Mark, only about a month ago, and they started rolling together. And then Rhonda got in just a few weeks ago, and then has already made a bunch of these new memberships that we rolled out, and then already a couple silvers as well. So she's killing it already. So
well, it's interesting because we've been traveling for a long time, our family, and everyone's always like, why the heck aren't you doing travel? Everyone expected every time they talk to us that we should be doing travel. And so it's been January 05 is when I was started in the industry, although I have never done or been part of an MLM ever. It's all been big ticket stuff. So this last year was a little crazy. I had a lot of chaos, a lot of upsy downsies, companies closies. And then Mark Hoverson, we met him last year, no excuses. I don't know what it is, Mark. I think you're kind of like either you're the go-to or you're the savior. You wear a halo. Something goes on with this.
Dad.
I swear. Because Brian's like, I got to call Mark, man. We just went through the, storm of all storms. Calls Hoverson. He's like, all right, guy, listen. let's just relax. And you know, Mark, I have to say this. I've told so many people this. In fact, in all the coaching, all the people that I've been working with, you said a couple things to Brian that truly has transformed the way we think and how we deal with things. You said, Brian, let me ask you this. First off, is your family okay? He's like, yeah. Can you move on? He's like, yeah. He goes, you're not going to kill yourself, are you? And he's like, no, man, I'm okay. He's like, fine, you're done, move on. He gets off this call. I'm like, so what did he say? He goes, you're not going to believe it, but I basically, we just got to get our tail in gear and just get over everything now. So sure enough, 8.5 years in this industry, you know, only been with 2 companies, dabbled for a couple months and a couple other little things that were like, this just feels yucky, feels sticky. And, you know, we're big ticket people. And so when Mark's like, I can't even believe anyways, you guys aren't part of a travel. Your family's been traveling for 5 years. We're like, oh my gosh, it's so true. So sure enough, we looked at, you know, everything. I'm like, wow, this makes so much sense. And it's big ticket. So clearly I'm a big ticket kind of gal. And here we are. It's, you know, it's good. I'm pumped.
We met literally the first time I met you guys, and I was like, because I saw a YouTube video or something on one of your trips, and I was like, I knew for sure, I guess with as much for sure as I knew that, you know, this moment would come where you're in our company, because it was just some things must be done.
Yeah.
And this was just a natural match, but I never mentioned it, and it happened. So.
Well, it's like, you know, perfect universal connection at the right time.
And we really, I mean, the energy that you've brought, and you know, the volume, and just you have great people in your space, and you know, you've been an achiever from the womb, I have a feeling. So it's just it's awesome to have really everybody that's on this video, whatever this internet squares is, to be here is really cool. And I'm just wondering right now, looking at everybody. Everybody on here was a fairly achieving athlete. Vince in baseball, you in softball. Michelle, what was you were an athlete, I know.
I'm a CrossFit enthusiast.
I noticed. Trust me, I follow your read? Whether I like it or not, I know what your CrossFit schedule is every day.
That's true.
Hey, I should be selling health and wellness, because I tell you what, I get a lot of buzz around that stuff where people are reaching out to me all the time. See, that's about building a brand. You know, I could probably sell health and wellness now, but I'm not. I'm not. Just selling CrossFit.
And Brenda's a gymnast as well. So I think one thing for all the viewers that are watching, like, if you know, statistically, I'd say if there was like certain check marks that were indicators of people really doing well, is if you were competitive in whatever it was, and this doesn't mean it's like, oh, I'm going to be better than the next person. It's just like, if you've been in competitive environments that are results based, whether it was basketball, baseball, football, softball, swimming, whatever, and you like that environment and you miss it, like, internet, like being an entrepreneur really satisfies that craving, I think, of being entrepreneurial and kind of results driven. And I just noticed with all of us here, because we're all of that
competitive
type of, well, you're not competitive, Michelle.
Not at all.
No. That I'd like to, you know, it really works well for me, but it is, I don't know. I don't know if it's a curse or not, but it's definitely, it works well, but man, I can drive myself crazy.
Yeah. But if you're driven, you know, entrepreneurialism, for those of you out there who are watching, I mean, if you're driven, entrepreneurialism is the only place you can actually run free. Because if you're in a job, and again, like, some people are truly job people. Like, that's who they are, and that's totally cool. It's not a moral thing. But if you're internally, like, driven and results are what move you, a job just can't function as a vehicle to live in. Like, it doesn't work because it's not result based. It's just like salary capped, or it's kind of just not who you are. So one of the greatest things I would say to take away, and we got a bunch of people watching this, is if you know, if you've got that itch, that it's like perfectly okay to say, yeah, I'm going to run with everything I got. And another thing, an entrepreneur by nature likes to make a bunch of money. And for years, I like tried to suppress that, thinking that wasn't good or that was bad because all these gunk I had in my brain. But it came to a point for me where I was like, you know what? I really like making money. It's fun for me. It's fun. Like I like going like mountain biking. I like making money. It's hobby-like to me. It's a blast. So there's a lot of stuff when you guys enter this industry. There's just conversation that does not exist outside of entrepreneurialism. And that's the kind of conversations we want to invite you into tonight, and different vehicles. You know, this is GRN is one vehicle of many. So, but it's a fun one, and it's a powerful one, and it's a fast one. So, Vince, I'm kind of pontificating a little bit over here, but
all right, well, yeah, let's get to that vehicle here real quick. I'll give like a quick 2-second backstory. I started in this industry about 2.5 years ago. Did pretty well for a little while. Kind of got in my own skin. I was thinking I was doing good stuff. You know, I was making a little over 10 grand a month, doing really, really good. And then I slacked off this last year. About June of last year is when I just kind of stopped. I was like, man, I'm good. You know, whatever. So I'm all, and then kind of the next couple of months, I started jacking around doing hobbies, fishing, yada, yada, this and that. The next thing I know, I'm about $2,000 a month. And I'm like, crap. So then Hoverson and Jonathan Budd make futuristic marketing. I say, let me run after this. Let me try to be an affiliate. I've never been an affiliate for a product before. And I ended up getting top 22 in the world and went, it's all good. And then went and met with Hoverson. Hold on, I'll wait for the dog.
that damn dog. Every time, Michelle.
Scout loves to
Just
come
mute
in.
it.
So then, yeah, I won that competition, got to meet with Hoverson at Jonathan Budd's mansion, and then the rest is kind of history. I kind of worked my way in, talked to him a little bit. We had good conversations that last night, and we ended up going surfing together. And I was like, dude, let's do like a webinar together or something and throw out your awesome Solomon CEO course to my people, because my list was like dead. I had to have some kind of fire happen for it to restart. And I never even did a webinar before. I acted like I was all like, yeah, this is easy, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And then Hoverson saw like I had fire in my eyes, I guess, or something like that. And so I just went crazy. You know, we launched his Solomon CEO product together, made somewhere, I think we made almost 10 grand on that. And next thing I know, he's like, you should get in this GRN thing that I have and kind of own or whatever. So you kind of just laid it on me softly. And I was like, all right, let me check it out. And you're like, it's $5,000. I'm like, you just want to roll the money we made into that? And I was like,
Not really.
no. I'm like, no, I don't really want to. But then, so you ended up, you know, basically closing me as a friend. And, you know, I'm like, you know, if I really want to get to the next level and I have this big vision of all that, you know, just to be in Mark's space and what he's already done and kind of just be mentored by him, I was like, all right, let's do it, you know. So at the end of the day, I did it. I ran with it a little bit. Didn't have too much success right at the beginning because I didn't know how to really close people. And you're going to see what we're doing tonight is we help you learn exactly what I did to start closing people like crazy. And the next thing I knew, Mark starts shooting me all this awesome information, shoots me a couple of videos that he's done. And I end up closing 2 platinums the next day, literally after a video he sent me. Then I just started closing people like crazy. I think I've made a little, I forget how much I've made in GRN just in the last couple of months. It's somewhere over 50 grand in just this vehicle alone. And just being in Mark's space, being in this community that GRN has, it kind of just excels your entire vision. So anything else in my business that I've done since joining GRN has been on a grander scale. It's been a bigger thought. It's been a bigger vision. It's been just a whole different train. Like I'm just cruising now with like this different mentality and this different lifestyle in mind because I saw what, you know, essentially income can do in your life for what you can do in your business. So I've been able to invest more, give away more, do more things because I've made so much more money, which is the beauty of what we've created. So that's kind of the little quick backstory of what it is. I mean, last month I was able to do 4 platinums. I'm sure my platinums are on the line right now. And, you know, we have a whole bunch in line to start going. And it's cool because those platinums got to this live event. You know, one of them's already made a sale. 2 of them have people who are ready to go. So they're engaged now, you know, and then the next people have, the next one has a bunch in line. So it's like when you get in this space, you immediately go from like just an average mentality to I can do this. I have a bigger vision. This is going to happen in my life. And so what Mark kind of did was he brought me on board. He was like, all right, dude, I saw that, you know, you did all this awesome stuff. with your community, and my community is growing really fast. And Mark's like, why don't you utilize some of that cool stuff and kind of bring it into GRN? So that's what we have tonight. We're doing these awesome hangouts. You see buttons below where you can instantly buy. You can check out what we have to offer. You know, we have this growing Facebook community. We have video challenges. We have this family feel. We're just like running now together, full force, full steam ahead, and we have a really, really, really awesome community. So, Mark, just shoot like 2 seconds of, you know, I guess off of what I just said and kind of what you see the community doing now with where we're going and kind of the vision that we're kind of running in right now together.
Well, I think what's cool is, you know, when people's mind gets bigger, it's just your mind will grow to the capacity that you can realistically see yourself moving into. So what's cool in like GRN is a $3,250 commission. When you are like qualified and ready to earn that, for a lot of families, that is the entire month's bills, like mortgage, car, food, piano lessons. It's everything. It like a $3,250 commission literally wipes out the whole living expense, and now everything else is gravy. So when you're positioned to make that kind of money, which, you know, and then for some of you that's not like very much money, it just depends on what you're used to and whatever. But I think what's really cool is when you get in that space, all of a sudden lead generation means like, man, this lead, they can buy all these other things, but like Michelle last month, 3 or 4 platinums or whatever, that's $10,000 extra, literally extra, from the same cost of leads that it costs to bring into your business in the first place. So if you have a blog and the most you can make is $1,000 or $100, or, you know, you're limited to how big you can realistically dream, because it'd be mean for you to dream much bigger than, you know, your commission potential lies. So, you know, I think that's a little bit of how your vision busted so big so fast, Vince, was you went from $2,000 a month to $3,250 per sale, and you popped 2 of them right away, and then you went $6,500 in a day. Wait a minute now, like, wait a minute, you know. Yeah. So with the community now, the biggest thing I'm excited about is I am basically releasing my stranglehold on it and letting, you know, the next generation that is just ready and eager, and there's so much energy there to run, because you guys are some of the best. We have produced for the last 4 years, people in this community are often, not 100%, but like we have created so many awesome success stories. No excuses speaker after no excuses speaker after no excuses speaker after testimony. Whenever Jonathan and Bud and I do our big launches, he's always like, all right, Mark, you're in charge of finding the people that dominate, because they're always in GRN with you. So they're always the testimony people. And a lot of it is just our income vehicle is so much better in terms of like the capacity to break loose. Like Michelle, the reason you were able to really break loose so fast is you started popping those $1,000 commissions. Boom, 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 boom. And then your list, you know, they're hungry. So then when you put out your $40 Facebook product, that first one, all your list was like, well, I make $1,000 a sale, and if I can learn how to get leads, I can make more money. And so they buy all the smaller ticket stuff. I just, you know, you guys have heard me get excited about this whole concept. But anyway, with the community now, what I see the future doing is I just see a bunch of, like in 6 months, I see, you know, new faces in this square, you know, in these squares here, and you guys popping in and weaving in and out, and just like Rhonda being a brand new face. It's awesome to see you, dear. And Vince is a brand new face, and we want brand new faces up here sharing their story of how they were struggling doing the online whatever, and then they came in, they made 2 platinums their first month. That's $6,500 extra bucks, and that sets them free, you know. So that's where I see the future going, as I see a bunch of new faces on this Hangout.
Hey, can I pop in on that? I want to just say one thing, because you were mentioning the fact that a lot of the people in some of the top earners are all here in GRN. And that's something that I noticed very quickly, was that everybody seemed to be in GRN. People are like, what's going on in that GRN water? Why are you guys all doing so great? But I also think it has to do with the fact that, you know, when you make $1,000 or $3,000 per sale, like you said, it doesn't take a lot to, you know, make a lot more money. But I think it changes your mentality a lot more, because you're not doing any more work, but all of a sudden you've made $5,000, $6,000 off of the same amount of work that might have taken you to earn, you know, maybe $500. And when you start seeing your bank account change so much faster, there's just a lot of confidence that comes over you. You're like, well, I can do this. Oh my gosh, I did do that. And so then you can turn around and teach other people how to do that. And I think when we're in this community together and we're seeing these higher commissions come through, it just spills upon everybody else in the community. Like, well, she just did that and he just did that. Well, I can do that too. And then you just get more of a, you know, a down to your core belief that this is where I should be doing, you know, where I should be. This is what I should be doing. The product's amazing. I can talk about it. The doubting spouses start coming and they're like, oh, wow, you actually are making money. This is real. And so I just think that all of that together really gives what we're talking about, the whole, you know, concrete foundation of why this is working so well for people. So.
Exactly. Yeah, and you were talking about how this is like this momentum and building and things like that, and how it's like they're doing it so they can do it, because she can do it so he can do it. Like, that's what we're building right now. So the timing for anybody who's watching this right now is just the best that could ever happen. I mean, we are literally steamrolling right now. It's just getting crazy. I mean, the first webinar we did on this, you know, had like 100 people. This one has 385 people listening right now, if you look down below. That's ridiculous. So, I mean, you can see how this is just going to steamroll and steamroll and steamroll. So,
now, I'll tell you one thing, Vince, just on that I think, you know, sometimes like cornflakes was an accident. The batter went over and then they discovered that the batter froze and it created cornflakes. I think the accident that's happening in like just a total freaking accident was you promoted my Solomon CEO and people just started experiencing that. And then like, almost like this unusual percentage of those buyers then joined GRM. It was just like, as soon as they did it, like they really loved that mind expanding stuff of Solomon, and then they just flowed into GRM just really naturally. And then Rhonda, it's starting to happen for you too. We just did a Solomon launch with your list, and it seems like the flow of those participants into GRN now is pretty congruent, would you say?
Absolutely, and that's what's really fun. And actually, the fact that you're bringing this up, Mark, is great, because, you know, I've always been really into personal development and the connection. And what I'm seeing with your Solomon program and now in the GRN, it's a really different environment, you know, than being maybe part of a company that's selling something that's a little bit lower ticket. They may do some mindset stuff, but man, you've created kind of this environment where people actually really start to believe in themselves and they start to step in the mindset of a higher level thinker. And so it's natural to go from that higher level thinking to saying, well, I want something to offer that's bigger, because the quality of person that I like to talk to, not that anyone has less quality, but their mind has a stronger quality. And that's really the environment I think that we're creating. And it's from this whole, you know, environment of you letting Solomon go, and we unleashed it. Now that's a natural, perfect progression, is to come into that same space.
So the accident, I think, that's started happening is with the Discovery membership now, where people get that first taste of the Solomon possibility thinking. It just started, like, it's almost like this is what's been happening. And for me, my GRN business, ever since I released Solomon, everybody who buys, it's like, oh, I went through your Solomon and I heard you're in GRN, so I'm joining. Like, that's just how it always worked for me. So now having that first module in the Discovery program, people can join for, Vince, is that $197 or how much is the Discovery?
$197.
Okay, so they can join for $197 and just kind of taste the training, taste the closing, you know, trainings, taste a bit of the community, get the blog, do the deal, and it's like, we're safe here, you know. These are pretty good people that I'm willing to run with and I'm willing to learn with and grow with. And then just sales are just so much more natural. But again, it's all been an accident, really. And now we're just kind of like realizing what's causing all these cool accidents, and we're actually making it into a structure and a sequence. And that's why, that's why the growth is what it is and why it's just warming up, really.
I have to, I know, Vince, you're going to say something, but I've had so many conversations in the last 2 days with the different people on different spectrums that I have to speak on this because, Mark, I've had, oh my gosh, you would recognize all of the names of people that have called me that have been like in GRN for 3, 4, 5 years, and they're like, Brenda, what is going on? Everything's changing. There's all this stuff. Can you just help me out? You know, so I've had this conversation many times now with these people, and they're just like, oh, finally, you know, you've always said we've had this great, amazing product that sells itself, and we could try to mess it up, and we have, but it doesn't, you know, it just keeps selling because it's such an amazing product. But yet when someone got in, it was like, what the heck do you do with them?
It was a bad deal. I'm not going to lie. It's been hard.
I mean, we were just like, okay, well, you got to learn this, you got to learn this, you got to learn, sorry, you know, good luck. It was, you know, we did the best we could. But now, you know, having these conversations with new people coming in, you know, with this discovery thing, plus with the vision and what we have set up with that structure, it's a completely different conversation. And I can so very much say that this is what's going to happen to you and this is how it's going to work, and it's going to be so much easier for you, because in the past, people are like, well, I'm going to keep selling this until I make enough money, then I'm going to get into the silver, and then I'm going to get into that. And it's like that plan that they're on, I know it's not going to happen. And then now that we have this discovery option, that will get them where they need to go. I mean, I can see it, I can believe it, and then them coming in, if that's what they need to do, that's the best stepping stone for them to actually get into the position where they can make this money. So Vince, take it over with the discovery thing. I think it's a great addition. I know I wasn't like completely behind it when you first brought it out there, but I'm the first person to be like, no, I've thought it, I've seen it, I've talked to people. It's exactly what we need. So it's cool.
Were you saying something, Mark, or you want me to roll? I'm going to roll into that. What we're actually talking about.
You know, I can always roll with stuff.
We all can.
It was really hard. You know, I think in retrospect, the good you know, because we had such a great product that it was a miracle with no marketing assistance of any kind, really, how much money was actually made. But I think the good thing is that was part of how we developed so many leaders, is that we've never had a message that, you know what, you don't have to do anything. Like, we've never crossed that home business loser threshold of like, oh, don't, you know, you just buy. It's all easy. You don't have to do anything. So we've always kept a real strong, like, personal branding is primary, effort is primary. This is a return on implementation, not a return on investment. There's a very big difference. We want you to be implementers. So we've created a lot of superheroes in this industry because we haven't given them false promises of just don't do anything. But what's cool now that's so different is we've got people getting their blogs, and they are branded, and you know, you guys are just driving them to make video after video after video at getting better, and then we're training on the close, which we've never trained on, believe it or not. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Now we're training people how to close, because when Vince had all these leads and he was talking to all these leads, and I'm like, how can he not be making money? This is a joke. I'm like, he should probably watch this 21 word for word training that I've made, I don't know, $3 million on the phone before. He should probably hear what I do. And then just like $6,500 in commission the next day. And then it was like 20 or 30 grand by the end of that month. It was just madness. So to actually sequentialize what works and give that to people so they have less burden, you know, alleviating a lot of that burden off people, that's why people are making money faster now.
No, we are so teasing people into what I'm about to talk about. All right, let's get into it, because I bet everybody's like, all right, I want to see what this is all about. So the good thing about what we've created, obviously, is at any time you can go down below this video and you can click on those awesome buttons that say click here to get your membership. I'm going to go to screen share real quick, and I'm just going to show you. All right, so as you can see down here, there's 2 different memberships, all right? And the one that literally, I mean, we're talking about life-changing stuff instantly, like having the possibility of instant life change, is the one on the right here, the Global Resorts Network membership. It's the actual membership that we've been talking about this entire time. When you click on that, you can actually go ahead and click on that right now if you want. It will open up in a new window for you. You'll see a little backstory of Hoverson right here. You'll get a little kind of rundown of what Global Resorts Network has to offer. You'll also see a cool little presentation he made that will give you a little overview about what this company does, what what the savings are, the savings benefits, because essentially what GRN is, it's a membership to get access to like a back office to travel the world for up to 90% off Expedia's best pricing. So what Mark does in here is he goes over, you know, example after example after example about how much you save when you travel to here, to there, to here, to there. So the product itself, like what we've been talking about, it sells itself. So we'll go over that here in a second. And down here you can watch another little webinar that Mark did, and you'll just click this button, you'll get access now, and you'll literally, once you click on that, you'll choose your different membership level we'll talk about, and you'll be in chatting with us and inside the Facebook community that is right here, literally within 5 minutes. It takes you no time at all. And as you can see right here, we have a whole bunch of fun videos like crazy, people talking, interaction. I mean, it's just wild, wild stuff. Now let's talk a little bit about what this is. So the first thing is why this product sells itself. Okay, that's the huge thing. And you always want to have a product that sells itself. And literally what I think is cool about our product is it changes people's entire lives. Not because of the income, just because of the possibilities. So let me give you a couple examples of what GRN does for you once you get access to the membership. So as you can see right here, Hoverson literally, when did you go on this? Was it about a month and a half ago or something like that?
Long ago. What are the dates there?
Let's see.
Month, a little less than a month.
Saturday, oh yeah, March right here. So Saturday the 16th of March. So Mark paid $799 to go to this resort. So how was it? I mean, was it a nice?
Yeah, the Lawrence Welk. It's a nice 3-star resort. Like if you bought it from timeshare, it'd probably be $15,000 to $25,000 and $800 or $900 a year for maintenance fees. And you know, this is the second time we've gone there. We pay $799. Retail was what's that? $2,100 or something.
Yeah.
We gave them 2 weeks notice. We were just like, hey, we're coming to San Diego, because I had a conference during that. But it was 30 minutes from J Bud's house where we were hosting, and they just worked to make it happen. And it's 63% off. But really, we wouldn't have, probably not have done a family vacation. But at $799, that's like a little over $100 a night for a 2-bedroom. That's about 14